So, good afternoon, students. So, today we have to derive the relation for Clausius-Monosode equation. So, what is the relation? N alpha e divided by 3 epsilon naught is equals to relative permittivity minus 1 divided by relative permittivity plus 2. That is the ratio of ER minus 1 to the ER plus 1. Okay. So, previous video lecture I have given some idea about this dielectric material is placed between two plates of capacitor. Okay. E naught is your external electric field, E is your net electric field, E1 is the electric field due to the charges on the surface of the spherical cavity, and O is the center where we have to find out the electric field. First of all, we have to find out the electric field at point O due to this all charges. Okay. So, what is the local electric field? I have explained the local electric field in previous lecture. Local electric field means the electric field experienced by the molecule present in this dielectric material. Okay, and this electric field is a sum of external electric field plus electric field E dash. E dash means electric field due to this charges distributed on this dielectric material, and this is known as your this term is known as your E, that is your net electric field, this E. Okay, plus E1 plus E2, and I have explained you about E2. E2 means electric field due to the dipole inside this spherical cavity, and this E2 is nearly equals to 0 because the symmetry of this spherical cavity, charges or dipoles on one side will cancel the electric field due to the another side. Okay, and this is of very small dimension spherical cavity, atomic dimension. So dipoles are very less. That's why E2 is equals to 0. And if you substitute E2 is equals to 0, this equation will be local electric field equals to E. What is E here? E is your net electric field. It is the sum of E naught plus E dash. That is your net electric field due to dielectric. Due to the dielectric. Okay, so E naught, so E plus E1. So that is your first very important equation. So here what is E1 is? E1 is the electric field due to this spherical cavity, charges distributed on this spherical cavity. That is the thing we have to determine. Okay, and what is E? E is your electric field due to the dielectric material, that is net electric field. It is the sum of external electric field and electric field produced due to the charges on the surface of this, charges induced on the surface of this dielectric material. Okay, so important is how to calculate this E1. That is very important. So we will now remove this. We actually learn about this now. So this is E and E1. So for E1, that means what we have to calculate? E1 means we have to calculate the electric field due to charges on surface of spherical cavity, on surface of spherical cavity. Okay, so how to calculate this electric field? Actually, electric field is a force per unit charge. So if you calculate the force, then force for unit charge, then that force will be equals to your electric field. So first of all calculate force, then take force per unit charge, that is known as your electric field. Okay, so take, this is your spherical cavity. I have taken only spherical cavity here. This is your center O. Okay, at this center O I have to calculate the force. Suppose some unit positive charge is at point O, then how much force it will experience due to the charges distributed on the surface of this spherical cavity. Okay, that I have to calculate, and from that I will obtain the equation for electric field. So consider a small surface area ds. Let ds be your small surface area, Okay, and this is at point A. So ds with the small surface area at point A, and what happens? This will be the normal to the surface. This will be the normal to the surface, and there are the charges on the surface of this spherical cavity. So this is the direction of your polarization vector. Okay. So this polarization vector. So what will be the component of polarization vector along the direction of OA? Suppose this is your x-axis and this one is your y-axis. Okay. And your electric field is applying along which direction? X direction. And this is your direction of the electric field, external electric field, which is along x direction. So suppose theta is your angle between x-axis and OA. Then this component will be your p cos theta. Okay. If I have taken theta along y-axis, then this component will be p sin theta. I have taken theta along x-axis, then this component will be p cos theta. Okay, don't confuse about it. So in some book it is given p sin theta. At that time theta is taken along y-axis. So if theta is the angle between OA and x-axis, then this component of polarization will be p cos theta. Okay, so this p cos theta is the component of polarization component along the for small surface area ds. Okay, and this small surface area ds will forms a spherical strip. This is a spherical strip, and this strip will make small angle. This angle is your d theta. Okay, and what is this? This is known as your r. R is the right distance from point O to A. So what is this width? This width will be equals to your r into d theta. So that are the terms I have explained you. Now you have to start to calculate the value of E1. For E1, first we have to calculate the force. Okay. So I have to remove this portion. So what is force? So force experience at this point, force is equals to the given by your Coulombic force. Coulombic force means force between two charges is directly proportional to product of charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So what is the force exerted on this small surface area charge? So this charge is equals, this will be equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. How much charge is distributed here? Okay, this charge is your p cos theta into ds, because polarization, what is polarization vector? Polarization vector is a charge per unit area. So polarization vector is p cos theta. P cos theta is equals to that polarization vector. Actually polarization vector is what? Polarization is a charge divided by area. Okay, and what is polarization vector here? P cos theta. And what is area here? ds. So what is the charge? ds into p cos theta. That is equals to your charge for small surface area. So that's why I have written directly p cos theta ds. That is known as your charge. Okay, so it is the charge, first charge, and second charge is a force exerted on a unit positive charge. What we have to take? Force exerted on unit positive charge, which is situated at which point? O. Situated at point O. So that's why unit positive charge means its value is 1. So that's how I have taken charge. First charge is p cos theta, second charge is unit means 1. So that's how I have taken p cos theta ds divided by square of the distance means r square. So this force gives you the force exerted on this small surface area ds. Okay, and if I have to calculate the force exerted on this complete this spherical disc, or if I have to calculate the force, this will be then. So this is the force along this direction. Okay, normal to the surface. If I have to calculate the force along x-axis, so then force along x-axis on small surface area ds, or along x-axis are force along the direction of the electric field. So this will be equals to your F is equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, or 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught P cos theta, you take it as a F dash, okay, P cos theta ds divided by r square. This will be equals to into cos theta, okay, because it is along which axis? X axis. So that's why again cos theta is there. So this force will be equals to F dash is equals to P cos theta ds cos square theta ds divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into r square, where epsilon naught is your permittivity of free space. So this is the force along which direction? Along x axis on the small surface area ds. Now if I have to calculate the complete force exerted due to this strip, spherical strip, it is a spherical strip, okay. So I have taken small spherical strip. If I have to take the complete spherical strip, I have to add all these strips up to this, okay. Means this angle will be varies from 0 to pi, okay. So next what we have to calculate is, we have calculated force now. Now force per unit charge on spherical strip of width. What is the width of spherical strip? R into d theta. So this is r into d theta, that is the width of the spherical strip along the length. What is the length of this? This is known as the circumference of a sphere. Okay, what is the circumference of the sphere? This will be twice pi r, but this r is your r sin theta. So this is r, because theta varies, r sin theta. Okay, so this is equals to your twice pi r sin theta along the length, twice pi r sin theta. Okay, I think it is right. It is your twice pi r sin theta. So what is the force? This force is equals to your then let's take it df. Df is equals to P cos theta cos square theta ds divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square into this will be the area of this spherical strip, area of the strip. So this will be P cos square theta ds divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. This area will be twice pi r sin theta, that is the length, okay, into width is r into d theta. So if you substitute this value, you will get P cos square theta ds divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. This will be equals to your 2 pi r square sin theta into d theta. So this r square and this r square will get cancelled. So you will get these values equals to this. Remove this also. You will get this value equals to df is equals to P cos square theta. Okay, so this 2 pi and 4 pi will cancel, here it will be 2. So P cos square theta divided by df is equals to 2 epsilon naught, and here it will be sin theta into d theta. Here it will be sin theta into d theta. So actually this is the force experienced by the small strip. if I have to calculate the force experienced by the complete sphere, then I have to add these strips, number of strips, where strips varies from this portion if I take 0, and if I have to calculate this will be varies from 0 to pi. So theta will be varies from 0 to pi. Okay, so that's why I will say that the force per unit charge at point O, force per unit charge at point O due to the complete spherical cavity is, this complete spherical cavity force will be equals to, is cavity is a, suppose it is a electric field, force per unit charge is known as an electric field. So I have directly write force per unit charge on this complete spherical cavity, that is your electric field. So that is your electric field E1. So this E1 is equals to your integration from which portion? Integration from 0 to pi, theta varies from 0 to pi. This will be P cos square theta divided by 2 epsilon naught into sin theta into d theta. Okay, I have taken integration from 0 to pi, P cos square theta 2 epsilon naught sin theta into d theta. So this is your equation for E1. So here we will stop. We will continue this in next video lecture.